So let me share with you my year in books in the Goodreads challenge. I thought this would be fun just to show you guys a quick look into all the 55 books in my 2021 bookshelf. So yeah, that's the 55 books read in 2021. I committed to read 52, but we got into 55, so yay, that's a good number. And that's a total of 19,698 pages. How about that? Not bad, huh? Longest book is Obama's Promised Land. This was actually the first book I read in 2021. And then Outrage is a good one as well for the shortest book. Both are non-fiction reads and both are really good. I would recommend it. Average number of pages 358, not bad. Most popular is Crawdads. Not surprising, this has been in the bestseller list ever since 2020 2021. This is actually fiction. The author, though, Delia Owens, is a well known nonfiction author. Least popular is Concepcion from a Filipino author. And I think the only reason why it's least popular is because it's a Filipino author, and that means maybe he's not yet well known internationally. I would actually recommend this to every Filipino reader. It's a non fiction book, and I know that all of us, all of you will be able to relate to it. Average rating 3.4, yep, that sounds about right. I usually give about a 3 when I like the book, and it's a 4 if I really, really like it, and it's a 5 if it's a must read for me. I do give out 1 and 2 as well, sometimes. Empire of Pain, highest rated in Goodreads, not just me, but I did give this a 5-star rating, and it's totally deserving of it. It's a really good read. Let's skip that because I didn't really enjoy that book. Anyway, okay, so these are my books for 2021. Some notable titles here would be TJ Klune's House of Cerulean Sea. This is like a super heartwarming, heartfelt, just really nice, feel good book. And I read this back in January of 2021, and I could tell you until now, I kind of still remember it. So it's really, it resonates. Yoko Ogawa's Memory Police is quite unique, but as with any Japanese author, it's kind of, very tender and very carefully, delicately written. If I Had Your Face is a Korean author, Korean story. That one is pretty interesting too. I have a few nonfiction here as well, and in 2021, I focused on, I usually read history, and in 2021, I read Elizabeth the Queen. Back in 2020, I read Catherine the Great, so let's see who will it be in 2022. Charles Hughes' Interior Chinatown is another interesting read from an Asian author. It's kind of a little bit of a satire setting in Hollywood setting and how an Asian man kind of navigates the Hollywood industry. And then Gia Tolentino is another Filipino author. Very smart. This is a very smart girl. It's a bunch of essays that, kind of like covers hard hitting topics. And Gia is also a writer reporter. It has mixed reviews, I have to say, here in Goodreads, but I enjoyed it. I get her, so I enjoyed it. Sundown Motel is a ghost story slash murder mystery. It's very well balanced. It's a very good mix. So that's surprising to me, because it's kind of hard to pull off that kind of style. So I like that. My Dark Vanessa as well is a good one. Fiction. Another from a Japanese author. There's no such thing as an easy job. I'm, generally a fan of Japanese authors. I just love how they write. William Gibson, it's my first time to read William Gibson in 2021. And this one is a hardcore sci-fi, not an easy read, not for everybody, but if you kind of like sci-fi works like Matrix and, yung ganong type of book, I think you will enjoy this. And then of course, Migrations, my gosh. Migrations is like my ultimate must-read fiction for 2021, and it's just great. It's just super, it's like a massive big epic story in an emotional sense. I do have a separate review on this book, so just check that out, how much I gush about that book. What else? This is Shakespeare. If you're a Shakespeare fan, this is a good companion to it. Now, Hidden Habits of Genius and Molecule of More. I feel like this too is a nice pairing, right? You don't have to read them one after the other, but if you could do so, they're kind of related. You will see similar themes that complement the other. So it's kind of nice to read that one after the other. Into Thin Air is back in the 90s. This was published in 97. Nonfiction about the Mount Everest climb and tragedy in the 90s. It has it's a, as you could see, it's a bestseller. Do read it, another nonfiction. Cast is a good one. Admittedly, I couldn't relate much to it just because, that's not my environment, but that's the reason why we read, right? To learn. And I really, really appreciate this. And it has, super like mind opening, enlightening points in there. Another one from a Filipino author is Meredith Talusan. She's a trans woman and she wrote about her life in the US and here in the Philippines and her transition and so on. So this is a good read as well. Nonfiction, Filipino author. Dune, come on, I don't need to say much about Dune, but I did read Dune because I wanted to prepare myself for the Dune, the movie. Endure is a good book I would recommend it for athletes and also for people who want to have a more active lifestyle. It's a very good read as well. Um, Writers and Lovers, it's a great fiction book for me. I rated it a 4 because I needed it at the time. I think it resonated with me at the time. So it's a good read. Another one, a Japanese author, Life for Sale. Almost like a modern classic now. It was published in the 60s. So medyo matagal na rin, but still a good read. Very interesting theme. Cultish. This is interesting. Cultish and Outraged. Now, these two, I would absolutely recommend that you read them one after the other, back to back. It's super related. This is about our current climate. It's a nonfiction book, both of them. Talks about very current, talks about our behavior online and how we should, kind of behave better and understand the power of language and how it can shape the way we think, the way we behave, and relating that to our digital personality or digital, I don't know how you call it, but your digital persona, basically, your social media persona. So, very interesting. Read it back to back. That's how I would recommend it. Emperor of Pain, as need I say more? Rated it 5 star. Go get it, try it. It's a really enlightening read, super comprehensive, very detailed, and heavily chronicled. So it's quite a very, very good read. Obscure title, Birds Art Life. It's obscure, it's unique, I feel like this is a perfect book for 2021 because it's about the little things in life and how we slow down and appreciate the little things in life because they're actually the big things. So that's why this one is quite appropriate for 2021 for me. Now, this one is a bizarre, like one of the most bizarre nonfiction you would read. Kim Jong-Il Production, and that's really because we don't really know much about North Korea, right? And this is a true story, not exactly, what do you call this? Not exactly a secret. It's very well known. There are Discovery Channel documentaries or National Geographic, or sorry, History Channel documentaries on this story. But it's really bizarre. Very entertaining read, but at the same time horrifying. So I do encourage you to check this out if you can find it. What else? Okay. Margot Affair. Margot Affair is my dark horse for 2021. I did not expect to like this one as much as I did. It's a debut novel. It's fiction by this author. It's a slow burn, kind of a steady, slow burn, subtle story, but it has a cathartic ending and it's worth it. So that's a good find for 2021 for me. Yearbook by Seth Rogen. It's extremely funny. I like Seth Rogen. I like his humor. So it was a literally laugh out loud moments for me for this book. So that was incredibly fun. House of Leaves. There you go. House of Leaves, published back in 2001, I think, or 2000. And it is going to be the most unique book you will ever come across. Not an easy read for sure. It could be confusing, confounding at some, but it's quite a ride. It's quite an experience. So see if you wanna get into that. I usually want to end my year with Mitch album because I feel like he's perfect for a year end type of read because usually he talks about faith and love and acceptance and forgiveness. So this one is also a good one. But I did have a few more weeks left, so I decided to, read The Anomaly. I could not start on it, and I'm glad I did. I rated it a 4 star. So this one is really cool. It's more philosophical than sci-fi for me. I feel like, and I love it, super love it. So there you go. So that was 55 out of 52 books. So that's great. I'm doing my review. Whoa! Anyway, I'm almost done. Um, and there you go. Hope you could join me for 2022 and see you again. Thank you.